Hello, video number 4, I believe, tool 3 here. We've talked weekly routines, we've talked term calendars that show the overview, and then once you have those in hand, you're really well equipped to do some backwards mapping. At that point, you can say, what would be a good date for an event? Or if you have a big research paper, when am I going to have good time to break this down into pieces and chip away on it? And so let's talk about that. This is a nice, easy example to start with, and then we're going to get into some more complicated scenarios and a tool for that. So you start with your end date. That's the backwards nature of it. And then you say, okay, I have this research paper due at the end of the term. What are the parts that need to happen along the way? Your teacher will probably be structuring this kind of thing too. They're going to make you turn in an outline after you propose your topic. They're going to have you do your research and probably do an annotated bibliography or something. But the point is, you're going to have a set of steps going backwards. So from the end goal of completed paper, you know that before that is revision. And before that, you had to draft it. And before that, you had to before that was paragraphs. And before that was the outline. And there was probably, that was feedback. Before that was the outline. And before that was the proposal and the reading and research. There's a lot, but it all builds up to that ending point, and it's overwhelming. The whole point of this is you don't want to have to do all of that in a few days right before it's due. We've experienced that and we don't like it. Nor can you do any of these things well while trying to do all of them in such a short time. So backwards mapping is the key for quality of life, whether it's an event you're planning backwards from or a paper that's going to be due. Now, this is where your term calendar comes in. Since you can see when your busy weeks are, and in your weekly routine, you can see when you have some flexible time, you can now go and put dates in this backwards map here. So we can look at it and say, okay, I have my Monday afternoons, and yeah, I'll take a nap after my math homework is done. And when I get up, I'll do my 1 hour a week of chipping away on this. And if you just plan for 1 hour, then at least you're making progress. And, sometimes you'll get in the rhythm and you'll spend 2 or 3 hours on it. But, if you just bank on the 1 hour and you keep that clear in your weekly routine for this kind of stuff, this is that ongoing kind of stuff. There you go. That's the idea. It breaks into manageable steps. You use your term calendar to inform the date, and you're probably going to be more specific. This is going to be, the Mondays or the whatever day in your weekly routine allows. If you were planning an ASG event, you'd probably be planning the preparation around your ASG office hours. When those are happening in your routine. So you're saying, some portion of my office hours go to my project, my event planning, and you're breaking it down into steps like advertising and permissions for this and logistical things and so on. Now, if you have a really complicated project, I've had a few of those, it's going to be a little bit more involved than just a list on paper like this. This is called a Gantt chart. And what I like to do for this kind of thing, this was for a scheduling process that involved a lot of workers, that involved communicating about it. You've got to get their availabilities, you've got to do a draft, you've got to inform it with other things. You've got all these limiting factors on when the information needed for the next step. So it's kind of a cascading thing as you go along the time. So this was like finals week of summer. And then these were the break weeks of September. And then here was fall week 1 when a new schedule needed to be starting. And so as I went along those dates, you can see that a lot of things had already happened before this view of the spreadsheet, but they had to happen before this could happen, before this could happen, before this could happen, before this could happen. It's very contingency oriented. When your limiting dates are, we're not going to know this until then. That can go on here, and now you can work backwards and forwards from it, and you can also work backwards from your due date. So just to show you some other examples of that, here is a quick sense of that same thing. You're seeing the cascading on these examples of a Gantt chart, where a series of steps is kind of happening over some date ranges. And there are templates for this. If you really find it easier to start a project by opening Excel and doing something like this, go for it. It's probably not necessary for most things. I kind of like that one right there. Don't know if it's going to show nicely here. Open image in a tab there. It's like, I like that one. It shows real nicely in a simple way without too much. Some steps are taking, several days. Other steps are just a quick day or two kind of a thing. But yeah, another tool for you to use. May or may not need it, but it belongs here in our time management topic. Enjoy that. And then I'm going to give you one more video. I'm going to go over some Zoom annotation tools. So I'll see you in that other video.